You've probably wondered how it happened. How did they end up with this specific person? What made them choose them? Was it random? Wrong place, wrong time? Or was there something about the new supply that made them the perfect choice? Here's what you need to understand. Narcissists don't choose randomly, and they're not looking for love. Think of them like a film producer, a director casting a movie. They've already written the script. They've already created this fantasy world where they're the star, and now they're holding auditions. They're looking for someone to play a very specific role, someone who fits the part they need filled, someone who'll make them look good, feel powerful, and keep the whole production running smoothly. And if you fit that role, that's when they pick you. Let me show you exactly what they're looking for. When a narcissist is looking for new supply, especially main supply, the person who's going to replace their last partner, they're not looking at who you actually are. They're looking at what you can do for the story they've already written. And here's the part they're casting for. Someone who makes them the star, who admires them, who sees them as special, important, above average in some way. Someone who'll put them at the center, make their needs the priority, validate their version of reality without question. Someone they can direct. Someone who won't go off script. Someone who won't demand to rewrite the ending. That's the role. And they are running auditions until they find someone who can play it convincingly. You don't get chosen because of who you are as a person. You get chosen because of how well you fit the character they need. Can you deliver what they want to hear? Can you make them feel like the hero of their own story? If yes, you get cast. If no, they move on to the next audition. And here's what makes this so insidious. You don't even know you're auditioning. You think you're getting to know someone, building a connection, starting something real, but they're watching, evaluating, testing. Can this person be shaped? Will they give me what I need? How long before they push back? And if the answer looks promising, if you show the traits they're looking for, you get the part. But you were never chosen for you. You were chosen for the role you could play in their fantasy. The first thing they're looking for, empathy, a genuine willingness to understand them. Because here's what the narcissist needs. Someone who'll work hard to see things from their perspective. Someone who'll make excuses for their behavior. Someone who'll sit with their pain and respond with patience instead of accountability. They need you to be moved by their performance. When they share the sob story, when they play the wounded one, the misunderstood one, the one who's been through so much, they need you to feel it, to lean in, to think finally, someone who needs exactly what I have to give. And empathetic people do this naturally. They don't just hear the words, they absorb them. They want to help. They want to be the one who finally gets it. So when the narcissist performs their pain, the empathetic person doesn't see a performance. They see a person who needs them. But here's the trap. Your empathy isn't valued for what it is. It's valued for what it does for them. It makes you easier to manage, more willing to overlook things you shouldn't overlook, more likely to stay when every instinct is telling you to go. Your willingness to understand slowly becomes your willingness to accept, and that's exactly the part they needed you to play. The second thing they're looking for, your ability to make them feel like the most important person in the room, because that's the entire point of the production. They're not just the lead, they're the hero, the center, the one everything else orbits around, and they need you to see them that way. So they're looking for someone who admires them, who's impressed by them, who looks up to them in some way that feeds something in them, someone whose attention makes them feel powerful, special, validated. And here's what's interesting. This doesn't mean you have to actually be beneath them. You just have to be willing to position yourself that way. Maybe you downplay your own achievements so theirs look bigger. Maybe you defer to their opinions even when you disagree. Maybe you treat their needs as naturally more urgent than yours. Maybe you're just grateful enough for their attention that you don't demand equal footing. You accept being secondary without even realizing that's what's happening. And this is what they need. Not a partner, a supporting cast member who exists to make them look better by comparison. You're not there to shine. You're there to make them shine brighter. And as long as you're willing to play that part, you stay cast. The moment you start expecting equal billing, the moment you want to be seen too, you get written out. The third thing they're looking for: someone who'll let them run the show. Because the narcissist has already decided how this goes. They know what they need from you. They know how they want things to look. And they need someone who'll follow that without too much resistance. So they're looking for people who are agreeable, who avoid conflict, who'd rather smooth things over than hold their ground. People who apologize first just to restore the peace, who adjust themselves when someone pushes, who let things slide because confrontation feels worse than compromise. And here's how they test for this before you even know what's happening. They push a small boundary, see if you hold it or move it. They make a minor demand, see if you comply or question it. They get slightly controlling about something small, see if you notice or just go along. And if you're someone who adjusts, who bends, who accommodates, who lets things go, you've just shown them exactly what they needed to know. You can be directed. You'll follow the story they've written instead of demanding a say in how it ends. That's not a flaw in you. That's a survival skill that got weaponized against you. Because the narcissist isn't looking for a creative partner. They're looking for someone who'll hit their marks and deliver the lines as written every single time. The fourth thing they're looking for: someone who'll see them as they want to be seen, not as they actually are. Because the narcissist has built this version of themselves, this character, the wounded but working on it one, the misunderstood but trying one, the been through so much but still capable of love one. And they need you to see that character and believe it's real. They need you to look at the mask and think it's the face. So they're looking for someone who won't dig too deep, who'll take the surface at face value, who wants to believe in the story being told. Someone who sees potential, who believes people can change, who wants to be the one who finally understands them in a way no one else has. If that's you, and for a lot of us, you'll see exactly what they're showing you. You won't question the inconsistencies. You won't push past the performance to what's underneath. You'll validate the fantasy. And that's exactly what they need. Because the moment you start seeing past the character to the reality behind it, the moment you stop believing the story, the production falls apart. They can't afford that. So they find someone whose belief is still intact, someone who hasn't seen behind the curtain yet. And here's the final thing you need to understand about how narcissists choose. You were never irreplaceable. You were currently cast in the role. Because it was never really about who you are. It was always about how well you were playing the part. And the moment you stopped, the moment you set a boundary, expected something real in return, questioned the dynamic, stopped making them the center, they started looking for someone who'd play it the way you used to. Someone who hasn't learned to protect themselves yet. Someone whose belief is still fresh. Someone still in the part of the cycle where everything feels like love. And they'll replace you. Not because that person is better. Because that person is still willing to do what you've outgrown. This is why it feels so devastating. Because you thought you were chosen for you. You thought you mattered as a person, not just as a function. But you were cast in a role, and roles get rewritten, recast, written out entirely when they stop serving the story. The new supply isn't better than you. They're auditioning for the same part you already played. Right now they're giving the performance the narcissist needs, the admiration, the understanding, the compliance, the belief. And when they stop, they'll be replaced too. Because the narcissist doesn't want a real person. They want someone to fill the role. And no matter how good the performance, cast members are always replaceable. So how do narcissists choose? They're casting a role, a very specific role in the story they've already written for themselves. They need someone who makes them the star, who admires them, understands them, validates them, and lets them stay in control of how everything goes. Someone who'll look at the character they're performing and believe it's the whole person. And if you fit that, if you had empathy, if you were willing to give people the benefit of the doubt, if you were compassionate and avoided conflict and saw potential in people others had written off, you got cast. But you were never chosen for who you actually are. You were chosen for how well you could serve the story. And here's what you need to hold on to. That is not a flaw. That's not a weakness. You had real qualities: empathy, loyalty, compassion, the capacity to love deeply and understand generously. Those are not problems. Those are the best parts of you. You just encountered someone who treated those qualities as tools instead of gifts. The new supply wasn't chosen because they're better than you. They were chosen because they're still willing to play the role you've outgrown. They're still in the audition phase, still trying to impress, still believing the character is the person. But you've seen behind the curtain. You know what the production actually is, and you've walked off the set. That's not a loss. That's finally understanding you were never meant to be a supporting character in someone else's fantasy. You were always supposed to be the lead in your own real story. Understanding how narcissists choose helps you stop taking it personally. You weren't rejected as a person. You were recast in a role. And the role was never real. The production was never real. The version of them you fell for was never the whole truth. You were a real person who walked into someone else's fantasy. And the new supply is too. The difference is, you woke up. You saw the set for what it was. You recognized the script, and you walked away. The narcissist will keep casting, keep directing, keep running the same production with different people until someone sees through it, and then they'll find someone new who hasn't yet. But you're done auditioning for someone who could never see past the role to the person playing it. You're the lead now, in your own story, with your own script, and no one else gets to write it.